Hi everyone, I am back with a new makeup tutorial for a back to school, back to work look. I know that a lot of times we have no time in the morning. We literally need to be rushing out the door, so sometimes we don't have time to do makeup. I'm going to show you a makeup look perfect for school and work that will literally take you 5 minutes or less to do. Very few products, not a lot of steps, and it's just all about just creating a fresh looking face so you can leave for the day looking and feeling great. This is a very basic beginner's look, so if you're new to makeup, this is a perfect place to start. And the products that I'm going to mention are all pretty key products that you will need to have, but of course you could always switch things up to suit yourself. So keep watching to see how to get this very simple but very polished back to school and back to work makeup look. Usually we're doing our makeup first thing in the morning before we go to school or before we go to work, so we really need our makeup to last all day. One of the ways to help make that happen is by using primer. I'm using the HD primer from Makeup Forever. This is in number 0. I'm going to create a base for my makeup so it doesn't sink into my pores, so it'll actually last throughout the day. Applying it on my hands, and then I'm applying it mainly in the inner part of my face, my T-zone, my forehead, my chin. I've already moisturized my skin before doing this step. Next step, I like to use one of two options. You could either use a tinted moisturizer, which is like a moisturizer but it's going to give your skin a bit of coverage, very slight bit of coverage. Or I personally really love the Makeup Forever Face and Body Foundation. It's very sheer, very lightweight, and because this is a 5-minute makeup, I'm just going to pump it out into my hands, just like this. And then just apply it straight with my fingers. Again, just starting from the inner part of my face, my forehead, and my chin. And this is going to be very light bit of coverage, but it's going to make your skin look really even, which is what we want. Next, I'm taking a bit of concealer. This is from RMS Beauty. I'm just going back with my finger. A lot of this I'm just using my fingers because you know how it is in the morning. You just don't have time to do anything, usually. You just want to get out of the house. The quickest way of doing things is the way we're going to do it for this look. So I'm just patting this in, focusing right in the dark areas under my eye. A little bit of concealer is super important to just make you look less tired. It's just an instant wake me up for your face. If you have any areas that you need to conceal, so like if you have a lot of redness around your nose, you can go ahead and cover that as well. Just a tiny bit of concealer. Or if you have any blemishes, like I have one right on my chin, just going to cover that as well. Next, you want to set everything with powder. So for this, I'm using the MAC Studio Fix powder. This is C4, and I'm just using a powder brush for this, or a skunk brush. You can use either. Again, this step will really help our makeup last throughout the day, so you don't have to worry about touching up. Next step is blush. I'm using this color right here from NARS. The color is called Sin. Nice rosy blush. Again, this is going to make your skin just look really fresh and bright and just give a bit of color to your face, which is really great, especially in the mornings when you sometimes look like you just woke up. For eyebrows, you don't really need to do much. I'm just brushing them up. I'm using Mint number 36 brow brush for this. I'm just brushing them up just to shape them a little bit. If you have really nice brows, you don't need to fill them in for, you know, every day. Something like this is not super important. But if your brows, if you can't leave the house without, you know, filling in your brows because maybe they're not they're really sparse, or you know, the shape isn't good, then you could just use a brow pencil. I'm using Lingering from MAC, just to really quickly just go in and fill them wherever you need, and it doesn't need to be anything major, and you could do it super quick with a pencil like this. Any brow pencil, of course, will work. Sometimes just doing it with a pencil rather than shadow can be faster. And then just go back and brush through them again. Now for the eyes, I'm going to do 3 different things. Brown liner, curl my lashes, and add mascara. You don't need to do all 3, whatever you have time for. It's really nice to put just a little something on your eyes so it wakes your eyes up a bit. First one I'm using is a brown eyeliner pencil. I really like using browns or grays for daytime because I find that black is sometimes just a bit too harsh. And with really small little strokes, I'm lining my top lash line. And then just kind of rubbing it into my lashes. And then with my eyes open and looking straight, I can extend the end a bit, just so it reaches the end of my eye. You could also use colors like maroons or dark blues, whatever. For example, if you have hazel eyes or green eyes, you could always use like a dark maroon. It'll really make the color of your eyes pop. That's another option instead of using brown or gray. Then I'm going for a black mascara, but you could also use brown mascara if you like. This is optional, whichever color you prefer. I think either one works for daytime. So this is Hug Me lipstick. And there you go. That is the final look for this super easy back to school, back to work makeup look. This is very beginners, and this is a way to look polished no matter how much time you had. I hope you guys get a chance to try this out. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.